All right. So I've been wanting to do a video about this for about the past week. I haven't gotten around to it. I've been busy as hell, hence the setting. I'm in my work van on my lunch break. I just don't know when I'm going to have time to actually sit down at home with like my guitar in hand so that I can prove to all you people that I belong in this fucking conversation. But it is what it is. I don't have a lot of time in it, so I'm going to stop wasting it. The fake guitar thing. So this is something that's been brought to light over the past couple weeks by Jack Gardner, Jared Dines, K-Mac, a lot of people. Well, K-Mac didn't really address the situation outright. He just parodied a guy by the name of Charles Caswell, who is one of the many accused of faking their shit. So this whole thing kind of caught fire over the past couple weeks because a lot of these guys, Levi Clay, Rick Beato, a couple others. And look, here's the bottom line. There are some dudes out there on Instagram and YouTube that are uploading videos of themselves playing shit that they can't actually play, okay? These people are going into their basements or their studios or wherever, recording a track at like 90 beats per minute and then speeding it up to about 120 and then, you know, shooting a video of themselves miming this shit, okay? You know, I'm sure there are a million of these guys out there. I haven't seen them all. I've watched a few videos from some of the accused, and I'll get to those guys in a minute, but yeah, I mean, look, this shouldn't come as any surprise. I mean, we're talking about Instagram, we're talking about YouTube, we're talking about visual mediums, and on Instagram specifically, look, people are uploading pictures and videos of themselves that they try to display themselves, advertise themselves in a very positive light, right? You want to make sure that everyone thinks your life is super fucking fantastic and great. And so when you take that selfie, it's usually there may be more than one take before you finally decide to upload that picture. You got to make sure the filter's right. You got to make sure the lighting's right, because God forbid anybody see any blemishes on your skin or any flaws with, you know, whatever it is that you're trying to show off, right? So why should guitar playing be any different? There's a very competitive nature when it comes to guitar. You know, people are always about the shred war. There are always guys trying to play better and faster than the next guy, and you know, that's something that's kind of always been around, but it's real prevalent these days because, you know, again, social media. It's very easy to put your shit out there, and it's also, you know, very easy to fake shit too. And one of the things that was mentioned in what's his name, Gardner's video, was that he was fearful that this is setting up a false standard, unrealistic standards for future guitar heroes, as it were, okay? This is going to leave young kids with an immense feeling of inadequacy because what they're listening to, what they're seeing is just, it's ridiculous, unrealistic standards. It's like inhuman level that these people are fucking supposedly playing at, but they're actually fucking faking. And, you know, as far as that's concerned, I'll just say this, look, that's always going to be there, okay? I think we have to differentiate between we have to talk about what are your goals as a guitar player, okay? Are you trying to be the world's fastest shredder? Are you approaching this as though it were sports rather than art, rather than music? Because if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, there's always going to be a guy. I mean, there are legit. I mean, Guthrie Govan and Steven Toronto, who's been one of the falsely accused, by the way. There are guys out there that are capable of playing to just ungodly levels that chances are you're never gonna fucking achieve, okay? You're gonna have to face that fact someday. Most of us will. So, I mean, unless you're trying to, I don't know. I get the guy's point. I understand. You don't want to see people cheating. It's the same thing as like steroids in sports. It's, you know, it can be entertaining to watch Barry Bonds fucking crank 5,000 home runs in a fucking season, but it's like, come on, man, this is bullshit. So, I mean, to one end, I understand, but to the other, it's just like, I think part of the problem is that the kids have these standards to begin with. To me, it should be, and I know this is kind of going off track a little bit, and this is just my personal opinion, but being a musician should be about the music first, and not about the sport, not about the technique. Style over substance is bullshit, right? Technique is great, but if you've got no fucking musical foundation on which to lay the technique, who the fuck cares? You know, there are myriad shredders out there who are not faking it, out there on YouTube, out there on Instagram, that just, that could blow you away with what they're able to do technically. You know, fucking, they're just scorching the fretboard on fire, and it's really impressive to watch, but, you know, ask me if I care. It's fucking boring. I mean, it's cool, but it's boring. It's not musical. I don't care. you know, John Lennon, Neil Young, Kurt Cobain, go down the list of fucking guitar players, musicians that have reached just fucking countless people. They're the voice of their generation. They were all shitty guitar players. Okay? Now, and then you can go down another list of like the Eddie Van Halens, Yngwie Malmsteens, Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Dimebag Darrell, Dave Mustaine, Marty Friedman. I mean, fucking, I could go on and on forever. A bunch of technically great guitar players who also were able to reach a lot of people through their music because they put the music first. It wasn't all just about athletics, all right? It was about music and serving the song. And they happen to also be amazing fucking guitar players. So I think that should be always the goal. I mean, if you want to shred, if you want to be a fucking, you know, incorporate just like blazing technique into your fucking songwriting, that's awesome. I'm always gonna promote expanding your toolkit as a musician. You know, you got guys out there like fucking Devin Townsend, who's a fucking very competent guitar player and doesn't really care for shredding unless it serves the fucking song. I think that's a good standard to look up to. So there's my thoughts on that, the whole shred thing and what young kids should be aspiring to in the first place. But again, that's just my opinion. Now, as far as some of these guys who have been accused of faking their shit, a couple names come to mind. Charles Caswell of Buried Alive, and then you got Manuel, whatever the fuck, Fernandez. The latter of whom is more prevalent on Instagram. He's the guitar player for a band called Unprocessed. Both of these guys were accused, or at least, I don't want to say accused. Jared was very kind of politically correct, as it were, or very careful about not necessarily making any claims, but, you know, both those guys have been kind of thrown under the bus lately by a lot of people having this conversation. And I think that they both kind of deserve it, but they're both innocent. Okay, and so let me just address Manuel first. I think it was Jared Dines who also said that, and I quote, come on, buddy, hands don't glitch like that. Now, if you watch a lot of this guy's videos, I mean, it does look sped up. It looks fucking really sped up. So the accusation makes sense because his videos look really fucking weird. But the bottom line is, and the guy has gone on since to respond and post videos of himself on his Instagram at sound checks. And he's playing the same shit to the same level. And you can see the fucking, you know, guys, the stage hands and shit, setting everything up behind him, and they're not sped up. And he literally moves that fast. That is how he fucking looks. And part of it is, look, he's got skinny ass fucking fingers and hands. He's got alien looking hands. And he's got kind of a unique way of playing. The way he rolls his wrist and stuff, it kind of looks weird. And, you know, and he's come out and said since that, look, I mean, if there's any confusion, it's most likely that, you know, I'm uploading a lot of these on a fucking shitty iPhone, and the lighting is just fucking weird. So, I mean, I don't know what to fucking tell you. So good on him, you know. I think he handled the criticism and the accusations pretty fairly. I will say that it took these accusations for him to finally come out and admit that he's miming a lot of the shit. Now, there's a difference between miming a pre-recorded track and speeding up your videos to make it look like you can play faster than you actually can. Now, I think it was pretty evident that he was miming, and considering, like, I don't know how many of his videos, like, you can just see that his guitar's not even fucking plugged in, right? So I don't know if that was intentional or if he didn't really mean to upload it that way, but he's come out since, like he said, he's like, look, man, a lot of this stuff I'm miming to a pre-recorded track, and look, that's fine as long as you're transparent about it. That's look, we watch music videos, right? What do you think those guys in the, like, I just uploaded a couple fucking videos over the past couple months. I did a Batman video game cover, and I did a Castlevania video game like song cover, and I'm like dressed up like fucking Batman and Simon Belmont and doing like ridiculous shit. I'm not actually playing it. It's all fucking mimed, and that's obviously obvious to everybody. Whereas I guess in this guy's case, you could make the mistake of assuming that he's trying to portray that this is actually a live take. But to me, I mean, if you got a set of ears on you, it's very evident that it's not. And that's where I think some of the time the video looks weird as well, is because sonically what you're hearing is so fucking clean. because it's been, you know, it's been processed. You got compression thrown on it. It's mixed. It's mastered. It's all ready to go. And then here's this raw iPhone footage. It just doesn't kind of match up. So I think that's where a lot of that confusion stems from. But about the guy, other than that, I'll say, I think the guy's playing. He's a fantastic guitar player, okay? And I don't think anybody can take that away from him or should try. But does he deserve to have the accusation levied against him? Yeah, probably, because he wasn't necessarily forthright about the fact that he was miming. And, you know, it is what it is. It looks weird. It looks sped up, you know? And he should, I don't know, if I were him, I'd feel kind of flattered that, wow, I'm so fucking slick and, you know, I'm so quick on this thing that people actually don't even believe it, you know? So there's that guy. And then, so now on to Charles Caswell of Buried Alive. K-Mac did the parody video, and I think that's part of what sparked all this. You know, when you watch a lot of this guy's content, speaking of being processed, produced, mixed, mastered, I mean, this guy's shit is super fucking produced. Okay, but the dude flies. I mean, he moves a million miles a second around that fucking fretboard, and I think it's understandable. Again, if you were to assume that his uploads are supposed to be a representation of his abilities, like I don't know. Of course, a raw take isn't going to sound that fucking clean. And the last video that not the video he deleted, because he recently uploaded a video about like trying to defend himself, but he was like drunk in a TGI Fridays or something, and he's wisely took that video down. But the most recent upload as of my recording of this video is him attempting a raw take at one of his recent solos to prove to the naysayers that he can actually pull the shit off. And honestly, he shouldn't have done that. I don't think he's doing himself any favors by ranting in a fucking Applebee's or fucking uploading a video where your raw guitar is completely buried underneath the pre-recorded track in the background, and then you're miming hitting the fucking kill switch that doesn't exist on the guitar that you're performing it on. It just leads to more skepticism. But it is evident to me that the dude has the chops to pull the shit off. It's just that, you know, what you're hearing, the final result, is just, like I said, mixed and mastered to death, and nobody sounds that clean fucking live. Nobody. It's impossible. But so fucking what? You know, when you listen to any fucking album from any fucking artist outside like super hardcore punk or old school blues, it's fucking mixed and mastered and produced. It's the way it is. You're not hearing these guys jamming live. That's why people go into fucking studio and pay top dollar to have their shit professionally done, okay? So what's the big deal? Unless the guy's outwardly trying to lie about it. Now, maybe he is. Maybe I'm being fooled and he can't play that fast and he's just really good at fucking faking shit. And you know what? If that's the case, fine, fucking whatever. I mean, I'm not that into his shit. I will say that I do dig the fact that the guy he's got a real squirrely sound. You know, the shit sounds like a fucking, you know, old school Nintendo game or something. But whatever. I do think he has the chops to pull off what he's trying to do, but does he deserve to be accused? Well, he certainly hasn't responded to it very well, so you're gonna fucking have to deal with some of the shit you're fucking catching, dude. I don't know what else to tell you. But I don't know. You know, that's just my thoughts on those two guys. Now, there are guys, again, like Steven Toronto, and other cats that are very capable and don't deserve to have these accusations leveled against them at all. I think some of the flack that these guys are receiving stems from maybe envy, jealousy from lesser guitar players, or maybe just guys with that old school mentality that don't like the idea that the guys they grew up on, like maybe Marty Friedman or fucking Steve Vai or Jimi Hendrix or who the fuck ever, right? They don't like the idea that these fucking internet cats, these nobodies, might be fucking leagues ahead of their fucking heroes. It just doesn't sit well with them, and I get that. I understand that. But you have to understand that that's just your old ass that fucking can't come to terms with the future. And this is the future. Shit's changing, man. The music scene is different now. I mean, we're dealing with fucking the world of YouTube, Spotify, again, Instagram. Gone are the days of like the old school way of just getting a record deal and fucking grinding and playing shows and touring. That stuff, I mean, it still goes on, but it's a new era now. And a lot of the more popular guitar players that people know of are the Jared Dines, the fucking K-Max, you know, the Steve Tackleberry, whatever the fuck his name is, you know, these are the guys that are out there pushing the boundaries now, that are fucking gaining fans. It's different, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So, I mean, whatever. Just fucking, to me, like I said, if you're one of these cats that's out there that is actually faking it, like Homeboy from Rings of Saturn, who's been another one that's, nobody deserves to be accused and ridiculed more than this dude. Fucking, what's his name? Lucas Mann. I mean, this guy, look up, I'll link Levi Clay's latest video in the description, or maybe not latest video, but the video in which he breaks all this down. And this motherfucker's out there running Guitar Pro 6 in a live setting, right, at a concert, and miming to it, and he's got people fooled. Now that kind of shit, it's just like, come on, dude. You fucking deserve every bit of shit that you fucking get. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that entire band is just a bunch of frauds. If I remember correctly, I think they're fucking, one of their old drummers came out and just basically fucking pulled the rug out from under those guys. But I don't know. Anyway, you know, and it's like, there's nothing wrong, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with using Guitar Pro 6 or 4 or 5, whatever. You know, there's nothing wrong with faking. If you're like, what's his name, the fucking Gardner dude, if you're transparent about it. Just be honest about it. Hey man, like, here's this fucking cool composition I came up with, and what do you think? It's not actually me playing, but this is what I got in mind. There's nothing wrong with sharing that. In fact, the most recent video that I did, that black metal video, if you want to check it out, it's an instrumental black metal piece that I just uploaded, and I'm getting ready to upload more. It's entirely fake. I did it all on an iPad. Not a shred of the guitar. The drums, nothing is actually real. Okay, I did it all on an iPad, just like I'm sitting here now on a lunch break bored. I didn't have my guitar on me. I fucking threw something together out of boredom, and yeah, I like the way it sounds, so I put it out. And I'm not trying to hide it, and I don't think if you listen to it, nobody's gonna accuse me of fucking not being able to play it. It's the most rudimentary and basic shit imaginable, but, you know, but it is what it is, you know? I mean, these are different times. I understand a lot of people don't like it. Another thing that I meant to mention earlier, that before I get out of here, I have to bring up, it's like, when it comes to shit like dude from Buried Alive, Caswell, a lot of people I've heard bitching about, like, oh, this shit sounds like MIDI. It sounds like a fucking video game. It just sounds fucking weird. It doesn't even sound right. It's too perfect. Maybe you're right, but at the same time, I'm sure a lot of people were saying similar shit when the Kinks first came out and basically invented distortion. I'm sure a lot of people were saying the same shit when the first time they heard Eruption, right? It doesn't sound real. It sounds unnatural. It's fucking weird, right? That's, again, your old ass that just has to get with the times, man. I'm sorry. But that's it. That's all I got to say on that. I've ran it on long enough. Hopefully I'll get back to doing my own work in the near future. Vega is still on deck. For anybody who follows me on social media, on Facebook, you might know that Vega from Street Fighter 2 is the next song that I aim to cover. But there may be an upload before that. I still got some of that black metal shit, like I said, that I want to put out, but we'll see. Until then, thanks for watching. See you later.